Shechem is a significant ancient city frequently mentioned in the Bible, and Jehovah's Witnesses highlight its importance in the overarching narrative of Jehovah's dealings with the Israelites. References to Shechem can be found throughout the Hebrew Scriptures, particularly in Genesis, Joshua, and Judges, and these accounts underscore the city's role as a pivotal location for worship, covenant-making, and historical events that shaped Israelite identity. Let's explore Shechem in detail from the perspective of articles and resources published on jw.org, which often draw on scriptural passages and archaeological insights to underscore the city's biblical significance. Early appearances in Genesis. Shechem first appears in the patriarchal narratives of the book of Genesis. According to Jehovah's Witnesses' understanding, Abraham traveled through the region, and it was near Shechem that Jehovah first promised him the land of Canaan for his descendants. Genesis chapter 12 verses 6, 7. This promise set the stage for Shechem to become a meaningful location for Abraham's lineage. Later, Abraham's grandson Jacob purchased a tract of land near Shechem, Genesis chapter 33 verses 18, 19. He even built an altar there to honor Jehovah, calling it God, the God of Israel, which indicated Jacob's recognition of divine guidance and protection. The city also features in the story of Jacob's daughter, Dinah, who visited some of the local Canaanite women in Shechem, Genesis chapter 34. The prince of the land, also named Shechem, took Dinah and wanted to marry her. According to the account, Jacob's sons Simeon and Levi responded with violence. This tragic event cast a shadow over the family's time in that region, further underlining Shechem's presence in the Israelite patriarchal history. Conquest and tribal allotment. Fast forward to the days of Joshua. After leading the Israelites into the Promised Land, Joshua divided the territory among the 12 tribes. Shechem was situated in the tribal allotment of Ephraim, becoming a centrally located city. Notably, it was also designated as one of the 6 cities of refuge, safe havens where individuals who accidentally caused someone's death could flee for protection until their case was judged. Joshua chapter 20 verse 7, 21-21. Jehovah's Witnesses understand these cities of refuge, including Shechem, as part of Jehovah's arrangement for justice and mercy under the Mosaic Law. Moreover, Joshua assembled the entire nation at Shechem toward the end of his life to renew their covenant with Jehovah. Joshua chapter 24. This major event is something the publications of Jehovah's Witnesses frequently highlight as an example of how the Israelites reaffirmed their exclusive worship of Jehovah. Standing at Shechem, with the mountains Gerizim and Ebal looming on either side, Joshua famously presented the challenge to the nation. Choose for yourselves today whom you will serve. Joshua chapter 24 verse 15, New World Translation. The people unanimously reaffirmed their loyalty to Jehovah. For Jehovah's Witnesses, this scene is a powerful reminder of personal choice in worship and the importance of whole-souled devotion to God. Historical ups and downs. Following Joshua's time, Shechem continued to play a key role in Israel's fortunes. During the era of the judges and the early monarchy, the city was often at the center of significant political and religious changes. After King Solomon's death, Shechem briefly became the capital of the northern kingdom of Israel under King Jeroboam. 1 Kings chapter 12 verses 1, 25. Jehovah's Witnesses note how this city was a flashpoint for the divided monarchy, demonstrating how quickly Israel's unity could fracture after turning away from strict obedience to Jehovah's commands. Archaeological insight and modern identification. Archaeological studies referenced in jw.org articles often identify the ancient site of Shechem with Tel Balata in the region known today as the West Bank. Excavations have uncovered massive walls, gates, and a temple structure that might date back to biblical times. Jehovah's Witnesses acknowledge these findings as correlating with the biblical record, reinforcing the historical credibility of Scripture. While archaeology does not define a Christian's faith, the publications often stress that such findings can enhance our understanding and appreciation of the events described in the Bible. Spiritual lessons for Jehovah's Witnesses. Beyond the historical context, Shechem holds spiritual value for Jehovah's Witnesses. The city stands as a symbol of covenant commitment. The scene in Joshua chapter 24, where the Israelites renew their oath of loyalty to Jehovah, is frequently referenced in Christian meetings and publications. Jehovah's Witnesses see this event as an example of wholehearted service to God, stressing that faith must be continually renewed and actively lived out. It illustrates how biblical sites often carry more than just historical weight. They exemplify timeless lessons about worship, obedience, and the serious nature of maintaining one's devotion to Jehovah. Burial place of Joseph. Finally, Shechem is also known as the final resting place of the patriarch Joseph. According to Joshua chapter 24 verse 32, Joseph's bones, which had been carried out of Egypt, were buried there in the piece of ground that Jacob had purchased centuries before. Jehovah's Witnesses view the burial of Joseph's bones in Shechem as the closing of a loop begun in Genesis, an act that symbolized Israel's deep connection to the land Jehovah had promised. To them, it underscores how Jehovah fulfills his assurances across generations. Please share and like and please subscribe.